Hi, this is Nikki of handknitshygge.com, and I'm just going to show you quickly the finishing instructions for the piece that we were working on at Sip Sit Knit last night. So I've measured my work. I've got 17 inches here, which is a little bit small for an adult, but I'm going to be making this for my daughter, so it should be just right. You want the length of your piece to be about 1 inch shorter than the circumference of your head, measured around the part of your head where you'd want to put your headband. So put the measuring tape around your head just like you would a headband and see what you get. So I'm going to demonstrate the bind off because a lot of our students didn't quite get that far during the lesson, which is fine. So what you're going to do is knit the first 2 stitches, and then using the tip of your left needle, reach into that second stitch and pull it over the first and drop it off. Now you'll knit 1 more, then pull that one over and drop it off. And we'll just continue doing this for all the stitches on the left needle. So knit 1, lift the second stitch over and drop it off. And I'll never forget that reminder that Nicole taught us last night about stabbing it, strangling it, digging a grave, and throwing it off a cliff. So once we get to the end and we've thrown all of our stitches off the cliff and we just have 1 left, we have a nice neat edge and we have 1 stitch left, and we can just cut a length of yarn to secure this last one. I'm going to cut it a little bit extra long for this particular project, and you'll see why in a moment. So I'm just going to pull that end through, and now everything is secure. Nothing's going to fall apart on us. And what we can do now is bring the 2 edges together. And one thing that I did want to mention first is to try to, when you're binding off, try not to do it too tightly. Try to keep it a little bit loose tension. One thing that I always tell new knitters is to always try to work a little bit looser than you think you want to, because new knitters tend to knit very tight, and that can make it more difficult for you. It can make it hard on your wrists, and it can make it a lot less relaxing. So try to keep it a bit loose. That way this has a bit of give. It's not going to be too tight or bunch up too much. So now we're going to bring both ends together, and we need our darning needle now. And for this project, the stitch that you use to stitch them together is not super important because it's not going to show once the piece is finished. It's going to be hidden by that cute what would you call that? We have kind of a wrapped section that cinches the headband together, and that's going to completely cover the seam, so you don't really have to worry about what the seam looks like. But if you continue to knit and you do projects where the seam is showing, there are lots of ways that you can learn to have a seam that is almost invisible. Mattress stitch is a popular one that you can always Google if you want to learn how to do that. But for our purposes today, not necessary. So I've just done a simple stitch all the way across that seam, not too tight. So now we have a band, and what we're going to do to finish this piece is just cinch the band together and wrap the ends of our yarn around it. And you can do this as many times as you like, and you can hide both ends of the yarn in here because you'll have one free end from the start of the work and one free end from the end of the work. And once you get to the end of your tail, you can use the darning needle again if you want to tuck this in or kind of secure it from behind. You can tie a knot if you want to, just so long as the free end is tucked in, so it's not going to be hanging out loose. And once you've tied it, you can even just trim it short so that it's not going to show. And there we have our finished cute little headband. Thanks everyone.